Welcome to the Heal Your Hunger Show, where we get to the heart of why you overeat and how to stop. If you struggle with food and weight like I did, welcome home. Welcome everybody to the Heal Your Hunger Show. So happy to have you here. It's a great day to be live, and I have an awesome guest here today, Dr. Marisol. So glad you're here.
Wonderful. Thanks so much. So super thrilled to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you. And before we get into your interview, I just want to say to folks listening that we are coming up very quickly on show 200, which is absolutely unbelievably amazing. And I'm so excited. And I want you as my guest on this show. So if you are tuning in here and you enjoy the show, I want you to be a guest on this show. And the way to enter this, it's sort of a little contest. To enter this, all you need to do is leave a review on iTunes or Stitcher, take a screenshot of it, email it to me at tricia@healyourhunger.com. And then if you've been in one of my programs or you've read my book or go ahead and shoot me a little testimonial about some way that Heal Your Hunger has impacted your life. So that's all you need to do. I just need a little snippet, couple sentences or more if you want, of how you've been impacted. And when you do this, you'll be entered to be selected as one of my guests on the show. I'll be inviting up to 5 guests. There'll be a little bit of extra goodies for you on account of being a guest on my show, but it'll be super fun. It'll be an amazing show, show 200, but it's not going to be the same without you. So go ahead and just leave a review on iTunes or Stitcher, and go ahead and shoot me an email about how Heal Your Hunger has helped you, and let's have you on the show. So super cool. And of course, don't forget to join us on Facebook at the Heal Your Hunger Tribe. So just type in Heal Your Hunger Tribe and join us there and continue the conversation. So on to my amazing guest. Dr. Marisol is a world leader renowned for her passion for cleansing and gut health. And she's absolutely amazing, but she's, got some personal experience with feeling shitty. I love that. And she's going to share about that, but she's crowned the Queen of Thrones for 15 years now, and she's trained and educated healthcare practitioners and helped thousands of people around the world. So she is absolutely amazing. Her book is called Oh Shit. and it's my goal here, and hopefully yours as well once you hear her, to help her achieve her goal of being in 1 billion bathrooms by 2020. I love that. So welcome, Dr. Marisol. So glad to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Tricia. I'm super stoked. It's just a real pleasure to come and talk with you again. It's really great time. Yeah.
I just adore you. So let's talk about, just tell me how you did get into this kind of world.
Yeah, I listen to my bio as you speak it, and I'm like, wow, that's me. Like, I'm really, humbled by the things I've been able to accomplish and do in this journey. It's been a really incredible ride. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that I was just suffering, right? Like, your pain often leads you to your purpose. I say this all the time to my patients, this pain that you're having and experiencing right now is purposeful, and it'll bring you to where you need to go into the next stage of your life. And for me, it was a childhood of constipation, seeing my mother modeling constipation, my father modeling, IBS of the diarrhea type, moving into my teens, never feeling quite well in my body, always fatigued, always foggy brained, just wrong. Losing trust in my temple of its ability to work for me instead of against me, I think was one of the biggest lessons that I learned. And as I moved into my 20s and then began to, alternate between constipation and diarrhea and constant stomach ache and constant stomach problems, I didn't realize the impact of my lifestyle on my bowel habits. I didn't realize, what the stress was doing to my system. So it was a journey that I was seeking a solution for. And really, I was just running up against brick walls all the time. Like, I would go to doctors. They would say, sorry for your luck. There's nothing we can do for IBS. Would you like to take an antidepressant? And I was like, no, I don't want to take an antidepressant. I figured there was something better that could be done. And it led me to going back to naturopathic school. I worked before that in the natural health industry, which is where I actually found out what a naturopathic doctor was. And during that journey, I got exposed to a lot of different tools. And one tool really like shone brightly towards me was like the castor oil pack, which I really want to speak about today to your people, because it's one of the tools that really helped me to find my center and helped me to learn the difference between, you know, living a stressed life versus living a relaxed, centered life, right? Because I was running on cortisol the other time, all my life before then. And I was actually addicted to stress. I was addicted to it being in an anxious state. So when I would try to relax, I wouldn't even understand what that was. Like I couldn't fathom the concept of it. And it's been the absolute best journey that's allowed me to, like, you know, treat thousands of patients, you know, allowed me to be creative and create products that help people improve their lives. And I'm just super blessed to be able to share my message, right? It's just such a blessing to be able to talk about, you know, knowing how to know what your stools are saying about you, and also all about, you know, the castor oil pack and actually, you know, experiential lifestyle products, like the products that actually are needle movers, not just supplements, but products that we've created that actually help to change your life and your health practices. I actually call them entrainment lifestyle products, which is very cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what our poop does say about our bodies. Like, I love to hear about that.
Yeah. So poop is really interesting because so many of us just disregard it. We go for a poo and we run out of the bathroom as fast as we can. Hopefully we wash our hands before leaving the toilet. But many of us don't even want to look at it. We don't want to talk about it. It is so taboo. It's almost as taboo as mental health disorders, right? Like anxiety and depression. You know, people don't want to admit that they're seeing a counselor. People don't want to admit that they poo every day, which I don't understand that, because in my home and in my family where I grew up, it was just common, you know, knowledge and common speech. We would just talk about it all the time. So my goal is to really get people to open up the conversation about what your poo is saying about you, because we get so many golden nuggets in what we're producing every day. And, you know, I look at our stools as the number one product that we produce, not the number two. Because if you think about it, our entire digestive tract is what has to intake our food. And, you know, I often say that digestion isn't just about digesting food, it's also how we are digesting our lives, right? Yeah. Like if we're having gas and bloating, diarrhea, constipation, you know, in traditional Chinese medicine, all of those symptoms are correlated to emotions. You know, like being unable to go to the bathroom and constipation is correlated to being unable to let go, right? So it's all these little key factors that, you know, our stools say so much about us. Our ability to absorb, you know, you are not what you eat, but you are what you actually absorb, because if you can absorb it, then you can utilize it in your system and give your body energy. You can reduce that brain fog, you know, you can get out of the fatigue. And also it's about how you eliminate, because if you're not eliminating daily, then what you're doing is you're just backing up toxins into your system and creating, you know, like a bottleneck in your manufacturing facility that, you know, you can't produce your product if you're not getting the product out. You know, you have too much stock. You got to get the stock out of the warehouse, you know? So that's the thing, is that your poo says everything about you. And I've actually come up with 11 golden nuggets of what your poo says about you. And it ranges from, you know, how long it takes from when your food goes into your mouth, by the time it comes out your bum, the satisfaction quotient, like how you feel after a stool. Do you feel like you've completely eliminated? Are you a hyper wiper? Meaning, do you wipe more than once? You know, wiping more than once is a big sign of food sensitivity, potentially allergies, mucus overgrowth, inflammation in your gut, a dysbiotic microbiome. Basically, your good and bad bugs aren't proper.
Let me interrupt you. Do you mean because you have to wipe more than once because it's like smeary?
Sticky, yeah, because in indigenous cultures who are eating their natural diet, you know, living in their natural environment, they don't have toilet paper. They walk, they squat, and they pop a poo out, right? So it's as simple as that. They don't take the step to wipe because they don't need to. They don't have paper, and there's no mucus in their stool. Another great example is if you have a dog, right? You never wipe your dog's bum, except if he's sick and having, you know, diarrhea, then you would wipe it. So it's the same thing for us. Like, why are we wiping, you know, like some patients like 8-9 times to get the area clean? You know, you should wipe it. The paper should have nothing on it. That's
a healthy poo.
Yeah, that's a healthy poo, right? And there's these 11 things to correlate your stools to understand, including does it float, does it sink, like the size and the shape of it, is it the Bristol stool scale is what everyone recognizes in terms of stool, but that's really the only measure that we use out there, which is basically a version of whether you're constipated or you have diarrhea, so the consistency of your stool. But I'm looking so much more because we can get so many more tidbits in terms of, do you have low thyroid? Do you have estrogen dominance? Like, what are your major issues, right?
Got it. Wow, that is so fascinating.
Yeah, it's incredible.
So that's one thing to look for, is the stickiness. Can you give us a couple other things?
Yeah, like smell is a really big thing, right? So many people, like, when you've landed like a stool that is just, the smell is just intoxicating and not in a good way. People come in after you and they're like, oh my gosh, this is just horrendous. Really stinky poos, like which may either smell like a rotten egg, it's a sulfur type smell, and that means you're overproducing hydrogen sulfide in your gut. Methane as well too, you're overproducing methane, like that smells like when the pastures have been manured, right? Like it's that cow poo smell, or the pig poo smell. Those are signs typically, especially the rotten egg, of a sign of a zinc deficiency in your body, because typically zinc will bind to the sulfur in your gut, and that will help to reduce the bad smell. So it's also one of the reasons why I created this really cool product. I have to share it with you because it's super awesome. It's called Eau de Throne. So it's an after you poo perfume. And the reason why it's an after you poo perfume is because it's so many different things. Number one, it is an adult potty training tool to actually help people, open up the conversation and, basically poo, peak, and then perfume, which is why we want them to, after you poo, perfume. It's also a disinfectant for the air. So I don't know if people know this, but this is really interesting, is that there's quite a bit of a body of research about after you go to the bathroom, and the flushing of it, the amount of bacteria from your stools that actually lands all over your bathroom, on your toothbrush. Yes. Yeah, it's pretty significant, because if you consider it, our stools are actually created out of 50% bacteria. So that bacteria can launch up into the air on flushing. So the reason we want to spray is to help prevent unsuspecting victims that come into the bathroom after you basically get a load of your bacteria, because you don't want to be sharing these types of things, right? So I carry my Eau de Throne with me. If I walk into the bathroom and the smell isn't pleasant, I'm spraying it. Like, I don't want to be, taking on that bacteria, because it's funny, you and me could be in a room sitting next to each other, and we are sharing our bacteria at that point, right? And if people are having bad poos, bad smells, you're going to be getting their bad bacteria that is affecting their system and going to then affect your system. It's unbelievable, right? Yeah, that's from smell.
It's kind of like this new consciousness we now have after hearing this. It's sort of like when you learn about how many germs are on a telephone in a hotel room.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Never am going to touch that telephone again.
That's right. It's so true. And I mean, that's why it's, really important to close the lid, people. You close the lid, the bacteria is only going there. It's not going all over. Like, otherwise, if you think about it, my girlfriend, she says, ooh, it's like you're brushing your teeth with poo. And I'm like, kind of, right? Because you're brushing your teeth with the same bacteria that was in the toilet, right? So it's not super pleasant. Yeah. So that's why Eau de Throne is a great product, great tool available on my website that people can, protect themselves and protect others, and not only, practice, peeking at their poo so that they understand what it says about them, but also the spray is medicinal for people who have gut problems, right? So it's just an all-in-one to help you learn how to. And that's why I say our products at Queen of the Thrones are entrainment lifestyle products. They're meant to train you in a certain way to do certain practices, because these types of practices are what get you very healthy.
So tell me about, we have Eau de Poo, is it, what is it?
Eau de Throne, right? Yeah, because it's
the other Queen of Thrones products.
Yeah. So we have also a Grateful Dung bracelet, which I just absolutely love. So this Grateful Dung bracelet is a bracelet that we use as basically, it's meaning that you're part of our kingdom when you have one of these bracelets. So it's kind of like an emblem. But the dung beetle on this bracelet serves a couple of purposes. We actually do a practice called the Grateful Dung practice. It's like a daily dining practice. And we do this because we know that so many people, their poos are affected negatively because, well, because they're stressed, right? When you're stressed and you have a nice meal, you're not absorbing. You probably speak about this to your people a lot, right? Like if you're eating on the run, you know, stress and high levels of cortisol actually create a leaky gut. And so this bracelet, we use it to, number one, an adult potty training tool. You look at the beads, the tiger's eye. Tiger's eye is actually a third chakra stone that helps with rebalancing your purpose, you know, feeling good in your center. It's a very strong grounding stone. And then the dung beetle is made out of black obsidian. And black obsidian is a first root chakra stone that grounds you, you know, helps you deal with your purpose, helps you with letting go, which is a big problem for people who have constipation. So first of all, it's an energetic bracelet. Secondly, a tiger's eye actually is the stone that is correlated to the perfect color of poo. So another golden nugget about your poo. So you can actually use this and look at your stools. So after you poo, you parfume, and then you look at your stools and you check out to see if it's the right color. If it falls within the brown spectrum, then it's the right color. And then you don't need to worry about that golden nugget. That golden nugget is good, right? And then the Grateful Dung practice, I know, it's so cool, right? It's multi-purpose, on purpose, right? Because I want you to use it for different things and just make it part of your life and train you into certain practices that are super beneficial in the long run. Because people, you know, so many visits I have with patients in clinic and they're just like, oh, I've never looked. And I'm like, how have you never looked at your stools? Like, to me, it's just the most interesting, you know, thing.
I always look. I'm interested.
Yeah, maybe they're embarrassed and they don't want to tell me, but I just want them to start to correlate like good things. And because so many people have things like undigested food in their stools, right, which is another golden nugget. We don't want to have undigested food in the stools. That's typically a sign of excess stress, excess anxiety, you know, at high levels of cortisol, stress hormone. These people often have, you know, central weight gain. They gain all their weight in their bellies, too much stress. We use the Grateful Dung daily dining practice as a way to reduce stress before having a meal. Because if you are doing a grateful practice before a meal, you basically can't think of anything negative. You really, really, really are in a zone where your stress state has gone into the relaxed state. So you switched into the rest and digest phase instead of the fight or flight phase. And it's just as simple as, you know, holding the Grateful Dung beetle, like holding a little beetle, and saying 3 things that you're grateful for. I am grateful for our meeting today, Tricia. I'm grateful for this wonderful meal I'm about to have and enjoy. I'm grateful for what my life has offered me in terms of my pain that has led me to my purpose, right? So you say that and you're shifted into a relaxed state, into a state of appreciation, of loving, and all you need is 21 days of that practice to actually create better neural networks in your mind of you having more of a positive rather than a pessimistic attitude. Super amazing.
Wow, I love that. I want one. I want one on my wrist. Right
yeah,
now.
Absolutely. The other thing too is that, you know, symbolically, the dung beetle is very amazing in Egyptian culture, and the dung beetle is, you know, this poor little animal. So they're literally a beetle, you know, bottom feeder, you know, bottom of the chain, you know, when it comes to the animal kingdom. And this dung beetle literally rolls poo all day long. And, you know, in Egypt, that rolling of the poo symbolized, was correlated to the god of the sun, Ra, which would, you know, roll the sun into the sky and then roll it down into the evening. And it was a symbol of resurrection and rebirth and a new life. And the dung beetle does the same thing too. It rolls a poo, and actually legend has it that it places the lotus seed into the stool, into the poo, and then from there, the lotus flower can grow, which is also the symbol of rebirthing, right? So we look at it as, you know, the dung beetle doesn't have a glorious job. It's pretty demeaning to be rolling poo all day long. You know, it's a big daily grind. And so many of us have these daily grinds that we hate, that we don't love, we don't appreciate them. We're totally negative about them. But this invites you to think more positively about your daily grind, because your daily grind actually serves a purpose, and we need to get good with our daily grind. Because if we get good with it, then it puts us on purpose. And no matter what job you're doing, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, like it's on purpose. That job is meant for you right at that moment. You know, if it doesn't feel good, if it's that bad that you need to leave it. But otherwise, we all have daily grinds, no matter, even me, like I'm totally on purpose, in my passion, love what I do. You know, but there's days where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just the end of the world. This is so hard. Like, how am I going to get through this? But I keep on remembering, this is just part of that daily grind that I got to get good with, that these are the things that I have to do just to get to the next level of my evolution and of my life, and to enjoy that journey of being in that grind.
I love that, because it's so easy to slip into that negative mindset of I have to do this, I have to do that. And instead, I get to wake up and work on this job that, I'm grateful for. I get to wake up and, and make my bed and make my
bed. Like, and the thing too is this, like, just look at life. Like, you can't, if you don't have grinding, you can't make diamonds, right? You need to take carbon and grind it to make diamonds. And you need pressure, and you need all of these great things to make diamonds, right? So if we want our life to be shiny and brilliant and, to make it a diamond life, we got to go through pressure, and we got to go through the grind. That's it. Right?
I love that. I didn't know when we were going to talk, when I knew we were going to talk about poo today. I didn't know we were going to talk about gratitude.
Everything. Yeah. You never know, right? Because honestly, your stools, like I see patients, and obviously I've experienced this my entire life, is that you become hyper obsessed when you're not going to the bathroom properly. And I'm sure there's so many of your people out there who have these issues. You're hyper obsessed about it. If you're constipated, you're like, when am I going to go? Why do I feel like this? Why am I so bloated? Oh my God, I feel like I'm pregnant. Like, come on, like, what's wrong with me? It's horrible. It's horrible. And you feel like fogged up. You just really feel like, I feel nauseated sometimes. Like I was at hot yoga one morning, and I was like, what is wrong with me? Like, my balance is off. Everything is just feeling wrong. And you know what? I just happened to I had gone daily already, but I had to go again. And it was an amazing poo. And it was making me feel nauseous because it needed to come out of my body. Like, I was like, okay, this needs to come out. And it came out, and sure enough, in like no time at all, I felt excellent again, So yeah, it's just,
I get it. When I travel, I get stopped up, and I take, calcium, magnesium pills, but I have one supplement I take when I'm at home, and it's in the refrigerator, which is why I don't take it with me, but it's the best for, really helping me be regular. And I'm telling you, it's the best feeling in the world to get back on that right easy track where I'm going 2 or 3 times a day.
Well, this is one of the things with our products that we do, and actually for travel, because as you know, I'm like a big world traveler, and I'm constantly on the road, right? And because, I have been a sufferer of IBS, I can go into that pattern if I'm not careful. And that's why so many of these practices that we've created in these entrainment products are so part of that. And part of that is both our beauty sleep kit and our castor oil pack, right?
Okay, so let's talk about that, because it will help me on the road.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And this is the thing. Like, I actually carry these. These are the first things that I pack. Like, I'm leaving on a trip tomorrow. First thing that I pack in my luggage, because number one, the beauty sleep kit. What does it do? All it is simply an excellent feeling. So very, very soft material, an eye mask that is put onto the eyes. And then, but what we do before that is we actually take cosmetic castor oil. Sorry, it's going to be all this little. So we take cosmetic castor oil, and we use that with a nice little brush to actually help us with our eyebrows, our eyelashes, and any dark circles that we may have under our eyes and the wrinkles. When you're traveling, you're feeling a little bit more haggard very often because you're like, in the airplane, you're not drinking enough water, you don't feel always your best. So when you may be going for a business meeting or, a big, awesome holiday if you're with your family, you want to feel and look great, right? So you place the oil around your eyes, and then you place the mask. Simply wearing an eye mask, which has incredibly soft material, and the material we selected is purposeful for this, stimulates your parasympathetic state and your nervous system to actually trigger from your pituitary gland to produce melatonin, which is the wake-sleep cycle regulating hormone. Just using an eye mask, people. Super, super simple.
You're not putting castor oil on the eye mask. You're literally just putting
the castor oil on your eyebrows, on your eyelashes, and around your eyes. Okay. And then you apply the mask on it. You wake up in the morning with your eyes vibrant, like full of life, no dark circles under the eyes, like really plumped up, really phenomenal. Like I'm always so amazed at the difference of when I wear it and when I don't, because it just makes such a big difference. But the big thing is that, especially if you're traveling or having sleeping problems, is just adding this in as a supplement-free way, people, supplement-free way, super inexpensive, that'll support your natural melatonin process. And when you create that melatonin, you're stimulating your proper sleep-wake cycle, something that's known as a circadian rhythm. This this rhythm is so impactful and important because this is how we drive our lives and our hormones throughout the day. And in my opinion, they missed out an important fact in the sleep-wake cycle. So I actually call it the sleep-wake-poop cycle, because when your sleep-wake cycle is off, you don't poop, as in when you're traveling. That's why you're getting bummed up.
Yep.
Right? It's as simple as that. So just starting to do this practice, and I do it daily. Like I do it whether I'm traveling or not. And it becomes my entrainment or my training that my body knows that when I put this mask on, it's time to go to bed.
Wow.
Simple as that, right?
Yeah, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Now that we're on the topic, let's talk about your castor oil pack.
Yeah, so the castor oil pack, the reason I brought it up is because of the constipation factor, right? And so many of us, when we travel or even just in our daily lives, we have constipation, or we're not just not going to the bathroom properly. Castor oil packs are also very good for people who just have loose stools all the time. They can also be of super benefit there. They are the oldest practice that exists from Egyptian times, traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine. Ooh, excuse me. They're just the oldest practice that exists. And we know in natural medicine that they work so well, but for years people didn't actually know exactly what they did, and they were a disaster to do. So I made them super easy to do, and I've researched them out the kazoo. So I become the expert in castor oil cosmetically, but also castor oil topically, and castor oil for all health purposes, as well as castor oil packs. So why I love the pack so much is this. So I've created this Queen of the Thrones castor oil pack, and it's to be used with organic castor oil. So this organic castor oil is in the glass bottle. Whenever you use castor oil, it absolutely needs to be in a glass bottle, because castor oil is an amazing carrier oil. And this carrier oil brings things into the tissues. So if you have it in plastic, it's going to be absorbing plastics and bringing that into your body. And that we do not want at all, right? So what all you simply do for this castor oil pack is that you place oil in the center of this organic compress. It's a soft material, same material as the eye mask, and then you place it on your body. That's it. It's like a two-step process, and you attach it onto your system, over your liver, underneath your right rib cage, okay? And its purpose is this, is that it does the 5 foundations of feeling great. And these are the 5 foundational things that we need in our lives for everything to work well. Whether you are wanting to meditate, whether you are taking supplements, whether you are starting a new exercise regime, whether you are creating a new healthy habit in diet or lifestyle, it doesn't make a difference. You absolutely need this foundation. And these 5 pillars, they are based on the acronym FAITH, which is a great word, right? A faith. And I purposely was so happy that FAITH was a word that was selected for this acronym, because I mean, the thing that was lacking for me in my life when I was struggling through my pains and through my problems was that I was lacking faith in my body. Right? This is something I know that you completely understand. Right? I lacked.
Like you feel like your body's failed you, or it's working against you, and then you have this disharmonious relationship with it.
Mm-hmm. And that was my experience. So this faith factor was just perfectly suited, because the castor oil pack does exactly that. It supports the foundation. Like when you build a house, you need a really strong foundation. If you don't have a strong foundation, your house is going to topple over at the slightest wind. But these castor oil packs are the only tool that supports all these 5 foundational factors of faith, which are: F is the function of the digestive tract. So how you digest, how you absorb, and how you eliminate. So it improves all those things. A is antioxidant status. Castor oil is a source of omega-3s, omega-6, omega-9s.
Wow.
Yeah, think of all those people who have problems digesting fats, women who've lost their gallbladders. You know, you're not absorbing fats via your digestive tract. Doing a castor oil pack can actually help you absorb your fats from the skin. Amazing. Plus, it's a source of glutathione, the amazing detox agent of our bodies. It also helps us to produce naturally oxytocin, which is the connection and love molecule. Plus, it actually helps us to produce dopamine, which makes us feel well, right? And makes us feel satisfied and satiated. So many of us, overeat or indulge in food because we're wanting to trigger a dopamine response, a feel-good, immediate reward response. Castor oil packs give you that feeling without overindulging, without, taking things to the extreme. Super incredible. Castor oil packs regulate inflammation. Inflammation is the crux to our humanity. You know, a little bit of it, it's amazing and heals us. Too much of it is totally damaging to our tissues. So castor oil is incredible at helping to balance that. Also balancing fever and your immune response. T is tension. Castor oil pack helps to reduce tension and stress. And as you all know, stress is the creator of disease. When we are stressed, we don't heal, but when we are moved and shifted into the relaxed state, when we train ourselves to go back into that relaxed state by doing a castor oil pack daily, we actually are able to heal, to clean, and to resurrect ourselves into a different life. It's incredible. Yeah. And then H, it stands for host. We are the hostess with the mostest. So castor oil packs help with resetting that microbiome, the balance between the good and the bad bacteria within your gut that we absolutely need. They say the microbiome is an organ unto its own because it's so important in terms of regulation of our immune system, of all of our body. And you know, this castor oil pack basically does that. It supports those 5 foundational pillars that really regulate your hormonal system, your immune system, your nervous system, the factors that keep our body in balance. It's amazing.
Beautiful.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah.
And then do you do this daily?
Yeah, so it was usually recommended to do it just a short amount of time, but castor oil packs really have such a great benefit and no side effects. The only people who can't use them are people who have either an allergy to castor oil, which is extremely rare, or if you're pregnant, because castor oil is known to, you know, create labor movements or movements of smooth muscle, the uterus being a smooth muscle organ. So if you're pregnant, you don't want to be doing castor oil packs. So it's got no side effects. So why wouldn't you do a practice that helps support you like this and helps to train you into practicing a relaxed state, which is what we are missing in our lives these days. We are constantly running on cortisol, on stress hormone. It's like, you know, the gas to our fire. And the problem with that is that then we are just creating damage and destruction in our body with that fire. And we don't want that, right?
Yeah. Okay. So just before I go to bed, I'm putting on it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's so simple. That's all you do. You put the oil on the compress, you place it on your body, and then you wear an old t-shirt just in case you move around too much. And then the compress moves, and then that way you keep things a little bit more clean, and you just go to bed and you sleep with it overnight. You know, I typically you will always sleep deeper, better when you do the castor oil pack and the eye mask from the cosmetic kit. And this is one of the reasons why I always recommend for people, if you're traveling, take them with you, because not only if you've been practicing them, does your body understand the message that, oh, it's bedtime, but also it's going to help with resetting your day-night cycle in terms of producing melatonin and oxytocin, you know, and like helping your body to relax and calm when you get to your destination and when it's sleep time. So it's just awesome. Like, and for our lives, like if, you know, people who have irregular sleep-wake cycles, right? Sleep-wake poop cycles, they are known to have increased rates of breast cancer, right? This is something that is plaguing women these days. And it's because our sleep-wake cycles have really been disturbed. And it's because our sleep, our wake, our poop is all off. And the only way that we're going to get it back, we can take supplements all we want. But supplements are just there for support. They're not the foundation. And this is the difference. The reason I created this entire line and came up with the idea of actually doing this castor oil pack as a product was because, number one, to make it easy. But number two was that I was doing everything right. I was taking the right supplements. I was feeling great. I was exercising. But I got incredibly sick in naturopathic school to the extent I couldn't even get out of bed. But it was because I wasn't focused on the foundations. All I was focused on was, you know, the quick fix now. And it doesn't work that way. You will not achieve your goals and your dreams and pursue your passion in a way that is actually sustainable without, you know, having that foundation solid. Like you need, it's like a home. If our homely family unit isn't solid, we don't grow up with a solid way of being or thinking or acting.
No
right?
question. Yeah. And to just tie this in with, you know, a lot of people who are listening who are emotional eaters and struggle with food and weight, you know, one of the number one ways and reasons we do get into trouble with food is because of stress and lack of sleep. You know, when we're not rested, you know, when we have, you know, erratic sleep cycles, we're stressed out, and we don't have any resources to draw on. And it's so much easier to just succumb to temptation when we're just tired and we really crave energy and we're just reaching for that quick fix. And so this is so, so important, and such an important message in terms of self-care, because the more we care for ourselves, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to start this castor oil.
So awesome. Yeah, you'll see everyone, like all of our comments, all of our testimonials, they're all like, wow, this is such an easy practice. It's like 2 to 3 minutes in my nighttime routine. Big deal. You can do 2 to 3 minutes, no problem, hands down. And they're all, they're all giving this testimony. It's so wonderful to see. Like, I've known this because I've personally experienced it for years, but also just seen it in my patients, right? I know that, their treatment plans aren't working as well if they're not doing the castor oil pack. That's how I catch them all the time. I'm like,
wow,
you haven't been doing your castor oil pack because this is not working the way that it should.
Wow, it's that obvious.
It's that obvious, yeah.
Yeah, so everybody, Marisol has offered us an amazing special deal, and you can go to the show notes and get that, but you're going to get this castor oil pack at a killer deal, right?
Yeah, actually, they can get what's called the Queen's Kit at the killer deal, which actually offers them everything. The castor oil bottle, the Eau de Throne, the Grateful Dung bracelet, they'll get everything for a super steal. So, and it'll just get them ready to start their health practice. Because you do the castor oil pack, if you do the Eau de Throne, the potty training tools, if you do the Grateful Dung practice, if you do the cosmetic, these 4 practices will set you up. There will be great change in your life from so many different perspectives. And, for many people out there, wanting to learn, I'm sure your tribe wants to learn how to meditate, or, that's something that they're working on. I've used castor oil packs as a gateway, because for so many of us, I know this because of personal experience from my anxiety and understanding that when I first tried to practice meditation, I would feel all these weird sensations and tingles and tightness in my chest. And I was just so scared to continue. And so every single time I would try, it would stop me from being able to learn how to do it. And castor oil packs ended up becoming my way to learn how to meditate and how to get into that beautiful practice as well. Because it taught my body slowly but gently how to get into the relaxed state. Because I just was addicted to anxiety. I grew up in a, Latina, Spanish family. Hail to all the Latinas out there. We're loud, we're proud. We're like, bah, 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 but the whole family's like constantly like screaming and loud. And we just live on a level of anxiety that's high. And it's also one of the reasons why Latina women tend to have IBS greater than African-American, greater than white women. Yeah, Latina women, the South American population and Spanish population have IBS rates of up to 21%, where IBS in the rest of the population is somewhere between 15 to 17%.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah, so I'm the perfect Spanish person to be telling everybody about this, right? Because and making it my mission. Yeah, crazy, huh? Yeah.
The noise, all that. That's great. Well, thank you so much for sharing this important message with us, Marisol. I adore you. I mean, you are such a beautiful example of what you do, because you are so healthy and just vibrant and energetic and full of light. And I'm just really glad you're helping people in this way, and you've helped every one of us today tuning in. So everybody, make sure to access that pack. I mean, I'm going to way, because I'm on a mission to get more sleep all the time. I'm trying to, figure that out. And if this will help me, I'm all over it. So,
you'll see. It's a life changer. You can go from having erratic sleeps to just, hitting the pillow. And again, it's just, all I want to say to the viewers and the listeners out there is just that it's about training. It's about practice. One of my mentors said to me, practice is the mother of all skills. And my mother was unbelievable at instilling the philosophy of practice in us, from our piano to our dancing to our studies. And it is because of that, I want to share that with everyone else, is the principle of practice. And when you practice these things, you get to your purpose, and you get to your passion, and you fulfill your dreams that you had when you were a young child.
Beautiful. So my last question for you, Marisol, is what is your deepest hunger? This being the Heal Your Hunger show.
Yes. My deepest hunger, I just want to spread the message of health, and that joy is medicine. My entire platform is funny, jovial, entertaining, because number one, like, my dream as a young child was to be a doctor and Liza Minnelli. And I want to bring that energy in every single thing I do. And I am so driven, Tricia, I can't even explain to you the drive that exists in the center of my soul. And it's just why I want everyone to just join my kingdom and help me with this, because we're not only a company that sells products, but we are changing people's lives. We're training people in a different way to think, to be, to act, but we're also giving back. So a portion of our product sales go back into research in my clinic so that we can actually do solid research about improving gut health, improving our lives in a natural, sustainable way. So I'm just driven by that internal want to help people and entertain people.
Beautiful.
I just love it.
Doing it, girl. Thank you so much. Great to have you.
Awesome.
Everybody, make sure to jump on that deal and also join us in the Heal Your Hunger Tribe on Facebook. So until next time, love you so much and thank you.
If you enjoyed this podcast and want to get free support, insider health info, exclusive invites to events, and more, visit healyourhunger.com.